There's a moment, subtle and almost forgettable, when your brain stumbles. You see a logo you've known since childhood and something's off. The colors, the spelling, the shape, it's all familiar but wrong. You shake it off. Just memory's tricky, right? But then you mention it to someone else and they remember it the same way you did. Now you're both confused because what you recall isn't just personal, it's shared. The same exact scene that apparently never existed. People remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 80s. He didn't. They swear it was, "Luke, I am your father." It's not. They know the Monopoly man had a monocle. He never did. And suddenly, it's not just one thing. It's hundreds. Flickers of a past that doesn't match the present, like echoes from a dream someone else woke up from first. But here's the part that really messes with your head. These aren't just oddities in movies or cereal boxes. Some of these are carved into the world itself, like the shape of continents or the location of your own heart. Let's look at that next. But fair warning, once you see it, you can't unsee it. Memories that millions share. You remember what you remember. Simple, undeniable, or at least it used to be. Because suddenly your memories don't belong just to you. They belong to millions. Millions who remember the same exact details that now never happened. Like the Berenstein Bears. The way you said it out loud, the way your teacher read it in class, the way it was printed on the book your grandma kept on the shelf. Except now, it's Berenstein with an ain. Like some cruel typo baked into reality. Or that scene in Star Wars. Darth Vader turns, breathes, and says, "Luke, I am your father." Except he didn't. He never said Luke. It's just, "No, I am your father." You rewind the clip. It's like watching a ghost wear your face. Familiar, but wrong. And then there's Pikachu. That iconic yellow tail with the black tip. The one you saw in your backpack, your stickers, your Game Boy screen. Except now, no black tip. Apparently never had one. So what is this? Mass hysteria? False memory? A glitch? It would be easier to explain if it were just a handful of people. But it's not. It's millions across continents, different cultures, different languages, same impossible memories, and the list keeps growing. More logos, more lines, more corrections. But if our memories are breaking, why does the world itself seem to be shifting with them? Because that's when people noticed something even stranger. Not a cartoon, not a brand, not a movie quote, but the shape of Earth itself. The world map has moved, and so have you. Let's play a simple game. Picture a globe. Not Google Maps or some digital app. A real one. The kind that used to sit on your teacher's desk, spinning slowly like the world had secrets to hide. Now point to South America. Where is it? If your brain just told you right under North America, congratulations. You've just been Mandelaed. Because now, South America sits off to the right, like it drifted sideways while no one was looking. And it's not just that. People remember New Zealand being northeast of Australia, not southeast. They recall Sri Lanka floating peacefully below India, not clinging to its side like a misplaced puzzle piece. Even Japan feels off. It's like the map got rearranged and the world just pretended that that's how it always was. But, okay, maybe that's just bad memory, right? Then explain the human body. Ask someone where their heart is. They'll tap the left side of their chest, confidently and instinctively. Movies show it, songs mention it. You feel it beat when you're nervous. But check any anatomy diagram today, and it's sitting center left, almost directly behind the sternum. When did that happen? Same goes for your kidneys. You probably thought they were lower, right? Now they're tucked up under your rib cage. The liver has ballooned in size. The stomach seems to have moved up. The spine has extra bones. Even the skull has ridges and holes that didn't used to be there. Not in those old biology textbooks. It's as if someone rewrote the blueprint. Quietly, cleanly, and without permission. So if geography is shifting and anatomy is changing, who's pulling the strings? And why does all of it seem to trace back to the same year? 2012, the year CERN fired up the Large Hadron Collider. The year some people believe we broke the universe. The CERN theory. Did we break the universe in 2012? They say 2012 was the end of the world. You remember that, don't you? All those doomsday predictions, Mayan calendars, and countdown clocks. But maybe the world didn't end in a bang. Maybe it slipped. In July of that same year, scientists at CERN, deep beneath Switzerland, fired up the Large Hadron Collider to hunt for the Higgs boson, the so-called God particle. They found it. Cheers echoed through science labs. Nobel Prizes were minted, but far from the cameras, something else might have happened. Something no one signed up for. Some theorists, not just tinfoil hats on Reddit, believe that moment ripped a thread in the fabric of reality. Not enough to tear it open, but enough to let something bleed through. Tiny shifts and insignificant at first glance. A cereal box here, a quote there. But the ripple didn't stop. Because what if reality isn't one single line, but a stack of them pressed together like pages in a book? And CERN? CERN may have turned the page. Some say we've been glitching ever since. Others believe we're now living in the closest parallel timeline, the one that almost mirrors our own, but not quite. You start to notice more cracks, more corrections. Things you know were real, quietly edited out of existence. But there's one case that doesn't just feel like a glitch, it feels like a full-on cover-up. A movie that an entire generation remembers that was never made. Or at least that's what they want us to think. The movie that never was. Shazam and the Quantum Lie. It starts like a childhood memory. Dim lighting, a worn-out VHS tape, that plastic click as it locks into the player. And there he is, Sinbad, wearing a turban, arms crossed, floating out of a genie lamp. You don't just think it happened. You remember it. The goofy moments, the kid who finds the lamp, the cheesy 90s soundtrack, the exact shade of purple on the cover art tucked between Jumanji and Space Jam at your local video store. The movie was called Shazam, and yet it doesn't exist, not a single copy or a single frame. No listings, no trailers, no credits, and no trace. Sinbad himself denies ever making it. The internet mocks those who claim they saw it. But the people who do remember, they're eerily consistent. They recall specific scenes, dialogue, even commercials. They describe the same outfit, same genie cave, and the same box cover. Different cities, different countries, but same memory. And here's the strange part. Some believe they're not remembering a fake film. They're remembering one that existed in a different version of reality. Maybe it was erased, or maybe we jumped timelines, and only fragments of that old reality stayed lodged in our minds like leftover code from a forgotten program. But if something as big as an entire movie can just disappear, what else might have been erased? What other parts of your life or your history are just one quantum slip away from vanishing? And more importantly, who's deciding what stays? So here we are, left with memories that don't belong, maps that don't align, bodies that feel unfamiliar, and a movie that vanished into the static. We laugh it off, call it a quirk of the mind, blame faulty neurons, childhood confusion, or internet hoaxes. But deep down, you know what's scarier than being wrong? Being right in the wrong reality. Because maybe this isn't about memory, maybe it's about permission. What you're allowed to remember, what you're allowed to notice, what reality you're told to accept without question. And if this world isn't the one we started in, then who's guiding the shift? Or better yet, what's waiting in the next one? If questions like that keep you up at night, you're exactly where you need to be. Hit subscribe, we're going deeper. And while you're here, grab my ebook, Hidden Truths. It's filled with stories like this, and some we still can't explain. Because reality is bending and the cracks are getting harder to ignore.